person knew about it. The history of British capitalism that you don't get at school relied on mass murder and colonisation of countries all over the world, and had little to do with what is claimed to be one of capitalist remits, free trade. It was about destroying free trade, such as creating dependency on inferior British goods in places like India, while destroying the country's industrial infrastructure and the Indian textile industry. The British arrived in Kenya in 1895. They set up the East African Protectorate. At the time of the British invasion, the population was 4 million people. In 1930, another census was taken. There were found to be 2.5 million people. 4 million reduced to 2.5 million under British rule. This was only one small country, one small pink part in the world map. Multiply that with all the pink parts in the old school maps denoting British colonies that we were all educated to celebrate. Imagine the inhumanity and slaughter perpetuated by British imperialism, then try and talk about capitalism with either freedom, free trade and democracy in the same sentence. Is this the history of the United Kingdom that many proudly raise the Union Jack for? 400 years of colonialism, murder and mayhem, destroying 2/3 of the world through capitalist competition. A history then transposed at home into jingoistic propaganda for school kids and the domestic population that is still maintained to this day with the help of the corporate media. But to imagine the British Empire was bad under capitalist tyranny, the US Empire begins to make it look like an underachievement. The idea that at least half, if not more, of ordinary Americans can be convinced capitalism is about freedom, choice and liberty is probably the greatest achievement of corporate propaganda of the last century. Today the US has more than 800 military bases throughout the world. It has invaded 50 countries in the last 50 years. It spends more on arms than the rest of the world put together. It pollutes more than the rest of the world put together. What part of this suggests capitalism works? Because that is how it is designed to work. It was always designed to work that way. Look at American history, even putting aside the almost complete slaughter of its First Nation people by the European colonisers, including the murderer and gold digger Christopher Columbus. As the old British Empire was dying out, an equally aggressive one was being born. Maybe that is what is meant by UK's special relationship, the relationship of the tyrannies of empires. What is it that marks US capitalism as an idea of freedom and democracy? Is it slavery? 2 savage world wars, Hiroshima, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq? Is it racism, voting suppression? Women did not have the legal rights of peers and were still designated as property in the US until 1975. This is the same era when anti-war was seen as un-American. Given its history, why would all of these ordinary US citizens persistently beat the drum for capitalism? The answer is probably because the US also spends more than the rest of the world put together in propaganda. That's public relations. 15 billionaires own 6 companies that control 90% of the media in the US, all actively involved in spreading the US form of democracy for the rich in the US and the rest of the world. That's capitalism.